And to get started for the night, Mary's going to start us off with a word of prayer and the pledge.
Would you stand, please? Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for the community of Coffeyville, where we can come and gather together and learn about our various candidates that will help govern our bodies. We ask you to help us keep our ears open, keep our minds open, and listen to the candidates as each speak. And by all means, I hope everyone here has registered to vote and will remember to vote. Thank you, God, for being with us, and we give thee the praise. Amen.
Amen.
Salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated.
Well, good evening and welcome. I want to first start off by just telling you thank you for coming out tonight and giving all the great candidates up here and out in the audience a chance to get to know you, to get to know them, I guess, so to speak. So thank you for coming tonight. We are going to start off with the USD and CCC candidates, and they're going to tell us a little bit about themselves. Got your sheets of paper right in front of you, but they're going to tell us their name, a little bit of background about them, and why they're running for that board position. After they are done, we are going to have the commission candidates come up, and they'll do the same thing. That's probably going to take most of our evening, and so we probably won't have too much time at the end, but I do invite all the candidates to stick around for a few minutes, and as audience, you can come and meet them one-on-one and talk to them, kind of a meet and greet. So tonight's going to be very informal. It's just our chance and the community's chance to get to know who is representing us here in Coffeyville. Then in October, we'll come back again, and we're going to meet at Windsor Place, and we will have a debate forum for the commission candidates. And that will be a little bit more structured, and we'll actually have questions. I do invite the community to send questions to the chamber, and you can call or you can email me, and then we'll collect all those questions and gather them and kind of sort them out by themes and topics, and then we'll have those at the debate forums. That will be at Windsor Event Center. It's going to be at 6 o'clock as well, October 9th and 16th. So I was thinking 7th. And that will be broadcast on the radio with KGNF, so that way if somebody is homebound, they can still listen in and find out more about that. So without further ado, we're going to start off with the USD candidates, and I'd like to start alphabetically, if I may, have you introduce yourselves and tell us about yourself.
I guess that would be me. I'm Jerry Ham. 56 years ago, I was fortunate to become a part of the education community here in Coffeyville. This is what you're wanting, right? All right. That too was a very exciting time in our country's history. That was right after Sputnik 1 had been launched. And the space race began, and the space age was born. And for the next 39 years following that, I was an employee for USD 445, serving in 2 counselor positions, Roosevelt, Field Kinley, and principal of Field Kinley High School, and later principal of Longfellow, Garfield, and Whittier schools, and then some time at the central office. Following those 39 years, I retired, and the last 16 I've been a school board member here in USD 445. As far as the non-education activities, I'm currently serving as a member of the Area Agency on Aging Board, the Imagination Library Board, and the board for the Community Health Center here in Coffeyville and in southeast Kansas. I would like to say that I think the future is really bright for education in Coffeyville. There's great cooperation and collaboration between the schools with the community college. I'd like to say that there's a well-kept secret, I think, in our community. Coffeyville has been selected as one of the 7 school districts in the state of Kansas to kind of lead the way for designing a new plan for education in Kansas. And I think for us, this will begin with our Parents as Teachers program that we have here in Coffeyville, and the Early Learning Center, and going up through the community college. There are a lot of programs that can be developed and currently are being developed that I think will make the future brighter for our students, our young citizens, and actually better prepare them, I think, for their future and not so much for our past. As I mentioned, a lot of changes have taken place in these last 56 years that I've experienced. I would like, it is my desire to continue being a part of this excitement. So I would say keep your eyes on the Ville. Stay tuned. There's more to come. Thank you.
Good enough. I was going to share it. My name is Daryl Harbaugh, and I'm running for the USD 445 Board of Education. My family moved here, well, my grandparents were from here, and then my immediate family moved here back in the early 50s. I was 4 years old. I'm a product of the public schools in Coffeyville. I attended Coffeyville Community College, and then actually junior college, and then I got my degree in speech and theater and English education from Kansas State University. I married Annette Loffer Harbaugh, who's sitting in the back of the room, and Annette and I raised our 2 children here, and they're products of the school system. I spent 36 years at Field Kinley High School. My first 2.5 years were actually at a private school in Manhattan, right after I graduated from college. I retired in 2012, and after retirement, I wanted to become more active in our community. Actually, I ran for the state House of Representatives and lost. And after that, I was retired. It was like, what do I do next? And the election came up, so I ran for the board, and I'm finishing my first term. Since retirement, my life is no longer between my house on 3rd Street and the built schoolhouse on 8th Street. I've been able to broaden myself out into the community. I've become a member of the Chamber of Commerce. I'm a community chamber ambassador. I'm also, and this is the problem when you retire, because people think you have all this free time, and I'm working hard to keep my free time. But I am a member of the Midland Foundation Board. I have a little part-time job with Fort County Mental Health, and then I'm on the school board. Qualifications and background, I have a background in education. I'm not sure some knowledge of education qualifies you. I've always thought qualification for any of these boards that you're going to listen to people tonight are people who want to impact their community in a positive way. And I had spent a career on one side of the board table, and it's nice to be on the other side and to learn exactly how the board functions and what I did not understand as a teacher. The reason I'm running for the board for a second term
is there are some things that are exciting, as Dr. Hem mentioned, that are occurring currently with the board and with our school district. The school redesign is thrilling, and I want to stay on for 4 more years and see how that develops. I'm part of the board's member. I'm part of the board's facilities committee, and hopefully in the next few months we will have a plan on what can happen or what we want to do with the facilities within our district. It's very important that we keep our facilities up to 21st century standards and provide the best education for our children. With that said, I look forward to finishing this term and hopefully serving another 4 years on the Board of Education. Thank you.
Hello, I am Lakeisha Johnson, and I am a current member of Coffeyville all my life, 37 years, born and raised, went to Phil Kinley High School, went to community college here. I am a worker from the Safe House. I'm a victim advocate / community outreach advocate. I have been in that position for 13 years. I'm also a part-time worker at the Coffeyville Rec Center. The different boards I sit on right now is the Community Foundation Board for CRMC, Vice President for Boys and Girls Club, the Ambassador for Coffeyville Chamber, the MG Coalition. I am presently on the Site Council for Phil Kinley High School. I have sat on the CES, the Roosevelt, and Early Education. I am a member of St. John Church of Faith, and I'm the youth director of that program. One of the things reason why I ran for the USD 445 board, there was a real dear friend that was in this community who felt like I had a passion. And sometimes when you don't know what you have in you, and there's someone that's always watching and pushing you to make another choice, and he felt like this was something I should do. So on his passing, I waited 10 minutes before the deadline before I turned in an application to take this position. So right now, I'm standing here right now as running for the USD 445. I have to make him happy, and I have to make this community happy. What I've always told people, it didn't matter if I made it or I didn't. I'm going to still be here, running around, doing whatever I can do for the community. I feel like that's a passion. I feel like this is my hometown, and I feel like as a young person, I feel like I can bring more to the table. So I feel like I'm very outspoken, and I'm not going to take no for an answer. So I feel at this time, that is why I'm standing here, or sitting here at this moment, to run for this position for USD 445.
Hello, my name's Robert Roski. I go by Bob. I'm running for USD 445 school board. I grew up here, went through the school system, also graduated from Coffeyville Community College. Then I went off to Oklahoma, then to college, came back, got on the fire department, been there ever since. My kids did go through the school system as I did, learned a lot of things that were going on, so I got on the school board to see what I could see if I could change anything. We have changed some stuff that I was looking forward to. One thing I'm on the Tri-County Special Ed Board, which I really have a passion for the special needs kids, and also our kids that are really smart and are out there. I'd really like to be on the school board again because I think there's some unfinished business I have. I'm a member of the CAP group, which is the Community Action, I can't remember what it stands for. All those anagrams, antonyms, acronyms. So, and I learned a lot from that. I learned there's certain things that our kids are not learning in school, and that we need to do a lot more to get our kids ready for their future, especially out in the world today. There's certain things that, we need to get our kids ready for the future, and I believe some of them are not ready. There's a lot of different businesses around town that we've talked to, and we need to get some of our kids that aren't going to be ready for college, they can go and get a technical degree and work like out at John Deere or Acme Foundry. You know, some of our kids aren't going to be college ready. So that's my passion, is to get our kids ready for the future, because our students are our future of this community and of this nation. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Thank you. I'm David Baldwin. Excuse me. I am currently a member of the Coffeyville Community College Board of Trustees and running for another 4-year term. I've been in Coffeyville for a long time. I did serve on the City Commission earlier. I was a charter member of the Coffeyville Area Community Foundation, served on the Cedar Bluff Camp Board, and then the CCC Board of Trustees. I think what I bring is a willingness to listen and to try and keep Coffeyville a premier community college. We're recognized not only at state level but national level, and work real close with a lot of the industries to do training. There's 3 campuses. We have the main campus, the technical campus here, and then the campus in Columbus. So we try to do what we can to grow enrollment and try to keep everything going. So that's why I've chosen to run for re-election. Thank you.
Well, my turn, I guess, huh? Okay. I'm Robert York, born and raised here in Coffeyville, raised family here in Coffeyville. I'm running for the Board of Trustees for CCC, finishing my first term on that board right now as this election cycle comes about, so running for a second term on the CCC board. It has been an honor to serve on that board as well. So as far as qualifications, background, so I was born and raised here, educated here. My wife Denise and I have a company we call Rodeo Holdings, and we own a few properties here in town that we are developing or have developed and have rented out. So pretty sensitive to the tax levies side of that, and that's one thing I try and keep an eye on as far as being a trustee, and making sure that we are doing what we can with what we got, but trying not to raise the mill levies or raise the tax levies higher than what we have to run our operations. So that being said, you also want to make sure you're running your operation the way it needs to be run and make sure it has what it needs. So that's basically why I'm running, is to continue on that path, and I've been very impressed with the board that serves at the college this last term. I think we work very well together. We work very well with the administrative team in trying to keep things on track and watching out for the citizens as well as the college interests. So, thank you.
There was one more candidate, Becky Medley. She's currently the chair of the board, and she is in Las Vegas. You know.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Just kidding. No, she told me she was at the conference. So
I believe that's the
Let's
ACCT conference.
thank them again for giving their time and helping be a part of this community. Would the commission candidates please come forward?
first. Yeah, yes, that's what it looks like anyway, so I'll see Darren.
Are we in alphabetical order?
It doesn't matter. I don't know that it matters.
Follow the same format, and we'll have them each introduce themselves, talk a little bit about their background, and why they're running for position. So we'll start out by again.
Good evening. My name is Paul Bauer. Been a lifelong resident of Coffeyville. I also, as many of the people that have presented before me, graduated from Phil Kinley High School, went to Coffeyville Community College and graduated from there before earning a master's degree at Friends University in Business Management. I think that has prepared me very well for this assignment on the City Commission as we deal with budgets, as I do in my everyday job. I work for a local manufacturing industry here in Coffeyville. So that gives me the ability to problem solve. I have to do it on a daily basis. I have to work through problems. A lot of questions are asked of me. Part of deciding to run for the commission, I wanted to do something to make a difference. So a little over a year ago, a position came open, August of last year, and I was sitting right out there in the crowd, and I was appointed to a commission position. In January of this year, I was actually appointed to mayor, so I'm currently the mayor of Coffeyville. So why do I think this is an important journey to be on the commission? So we need to work with and guide our city manager so we can all have a common understanding of what the needs, expectations, and goals are for Coffeyville. That way we're all working towards one common platform and we aren't pulling our city manager in different directions. We need to ensure we have responsible use of our tax dollars with budgets and spending within the constraints of our revenues. At this time, the population of Coffeyville is not growing, so with less people come less tax dollars. Puts a strain on the city and the current structure that we have. So we have to manage that, and we go through a budget process to do that. You know, dedication to the pursuit of attracting new industry and maintaining the industry that we have in Coffeyville. You know, Coffeyville needs jobs. That's how we're going to grow. We have a lot of empty buildings that we want to fill and that we need to fill. So anyone out there listening, come to Coffeyville. We're ready. Also, we need to improve the appearance of the city by ensuring projects are followed through to completion, you know, and holding the city to the same standards that we hold our residents to, because, again, when we bring these new jobs to Coffeyville, we want people to live in Coffeyville. We don't want them to live in Cherryville or Caney or Independence. We want them to come here and reside here as these, if and when we get these new jobs in Coffeyville. I can say over the last year and couple months, the thing that I've enjoyed the most out of being on the commission has been the interaction with the people. Some of it's been good, some of it's not been so pleasant to deal with. But, you know, it's all things that we deal with, and we've taken that responsibility on to do that. So that's why I feel like I'm in a good position. I have the time and commitment to be a good city commissioner, continue on with the route I'm on. And, you know, Coffeyville has roots and they run very deep, and I'm proud to live in Coffeyville. I'm proud to say this is my home. Thank you.
Let's fix this so it doesn't fall on me during the middle of it. That'd be a little embarrassing. Hello, everybody. My name is Justin Doan. Nearly 20 years ago, I moved to the community of Coffeyville to play football at CCC. When I came here, I got all kinds of ridicule about why would you move to southeast Kansas. After being here for a couple years, I fell in love with Coffeyville. Straight out of college, I took a job at the fire department, worked there for a couple years, and went full-time at CRMC as a paramedic. Worked there for a few years, continued to get exposed to the community, working with the citizens through different programs, and moved to Broken Arrow in 2006. I was in the medical field there, but I really missed the fire. In Broken Arrow, I could be a firefighter and a paramedic. Worked there for a few years, had a disabling back injury and had to kind of figure out where I was going to go from there. My heart brought me back to Coffeyville. I came back to CCC, got my RN degree, and currently work at Fort County as an administrator. I try to get involved as much as I can in the community. For the past 2 years, I've been a mentor at CE Community Elementary, helping the same little boy through his issues, helping give him some guidance and some leadership. I was the assistant instructor at the ropes course out at Cedar Bluff Camp for the last couple years. And I've also, for the past 2 years, been on the board of the Leadership Coffeyville, also the co-facilitator for Leadership Coffeyville. I think that's really important. I have a lot of passion, not only for Coffeyville, as I said, but in developing leaders and helping upcoming people become leaders and hone on their skills. I'm a big believer in servant leadership, and in each class we encourage the class members of Leadership Coffeyville to get engaged in the community, to serve on boards, and recently I moved within the city limits, and I believe in walking the walk and talking the talk. And if I was going to be in the city limits and not try to get on the city commission board, then I wasn't truly doing that. Why am I running for this position? To be quite honest, I think there's a need. I don't think it speaks too highly of our community when there's not excitement about being on the city commission. The city commission should be a team of 5 members that the citizens look up to and are able to go to for their problems. With my formal leadership training, I think that I can bring a sense of civility and consensus to the board, and I'm excited to work with the community and to work with the city manager and develop procedures and allow the city to do their job. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited that there's 8 people running. That's a whole lot better, and I think that speaks highly of our community. Thank you.
Well, good evening. My name's Jim Faulkner, and first I want to thank the Chamber for putting this on. And I wanted to just mention that everyone that you see up here this evening, and those who have been here before, are up who have made a decision to reach out beyond themselves and do something greater than themselves. So just keep that in mind. These are not high-paying jobs, so we're all volunteers. I am a homegrown Coffeyville boy. Family has been here for over 125 years, with 4 generations graduating from Field Kinley, as I did. And after graduation, I went to the University of Kansas, and while I was there, I was in ROTC. And after graduation from there, I spent just a little over 20 years in the Navy. The second half of my naval career, I was actually in the business of the Navy itself, structuring budgets and in personnel management. After Navy, spent the next 20 years in healthcare management in Kansas, Missouri, and Tennessee, and locally even worked for Windsor Place and medical lodges. Upon retirement, wife and I, Jo Lynn, she's out there. Where are you? We moved back to Coffeyville, and again, because we choose to live here. I wanted to use these experiences and my skills, education, to make a difference here in Coffeyville, because while I was in the Navy, I also earned a master's degree in business administration. Spend my days volunteering in the community, and I'm presently the president of the Boys and Girls Club here in town. And I also get out in the community, and I'm hearing a lot of people. I listen to them. not so much talking these days, but listening, and I hear what they're saying. They want the streets fixed, they want to clean up the neighborhoods, they want more jobs, and they want the commission and the administration to spend their tax dollars wisely. So as far as cleaning up the neighborhoods go, the city has made what I would call a great leap forward over the last couple of years with the annual citywide cleanup, but we still can do a lot better. It's not just about collecting trash. We also have to get rid of all of these red tagged houses you see around town that no one can live in. Not only are they an eyesore, they also represent what's called, the legal guys call an attractive nuisance for children to play in, and that can be very dangerous. We need to do everything that we can. We've talked about jobs. The city needs to do absolutely everything that we can to help our local businesses grow and prosper, whatever it takes. The Montgomery County Action Council is in the business of bringing in the big dogs, the new businesses, the new firms, but we need to help our own local businesses grow. As far as the streets are concerned, like I said, we're making progress there, but we also, we could be more informative with our citizens about bulky trash pickup too. You'll see, I'm sure all of you have seen sofas sitting out on the curb for 3 weeks at a time. We do have bulk pickup. They're on scheduled days. People can actually call for a special pickup, but we need to be a little more informative so that eyesore is taken away. Another cleansing, I call it a cleansing, that our neighborhoods need. We need to get rid of the drug dealers that are in our neighborhoods. And if elected, I'll work very closely with the administration and Chief Bromley to make sure that we can address that issue, because those are poison dealers that we don't need here in town. We all have an investment in this community. We need to take back our civic pride, encourage our youth to participate in all the various programs and organizations that we have, and at the same time then provide them with an opportunity, provide them with a place that they want to stay, where they can raise their own families. It's our duty, and I think that I can help make a difference. So on November the 7th, when you go to vote, I sure would appreciate it if you'd circle that little dot by the name that says Jim Faulkner. And I may not have all the answers, but I will work with the commissioners and the administration in a civilized manner to do the best that we can to find good answers that benefit everyone. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Pam Jones, and my paternal grandparents have been here since the mid to late 1800s. My maternal grandparents came here in 1906, and we have lived here most of our lives. We did go to Oklahoma in 1988, came back in 1998. My husband was working in Tulsa, but he said, "Would you like to go home?" I said, yes. I was so homesick. I love Coffeyville. My friends are here. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love where we live. I love the people. I love my neighbors. And let's see, my background is my husband and I have been married 46 years. We have one son and one grandson that's 2 years old. When we moved back, I wanted to do something different. Living in Claremore, Oklahoma, I saw a lot of things that were happening there. Their downtown, I thought when we moved to Claremore, I left Coffeyville for this. And it was like, you know, if they can rebuild and do different things with their community, so can we. We need to take care of what we've got. We need to be good stewards of our tax dollar. And we also need to think about our youth. We need to have things for the youth to do to keep them off the streets, even if that's having volunteer cleanup programs for these kids, to teach them pride. This is their community, and a lot of them after college will come back here to work. And so we need to give them a sense of pride. We also need to ask that every homeowner be responsible for their little plot of land. Take care of it. Learn about bulky item pickup, as Jim said. Go to Channel 13. It's very informative. and they will pick up 3 cubic yards of stuff. And there's a phone number you can call, and they'll come and get it. There's no reason why people need to have old furniture, appliances, et cetera, sitting in their town. We need to clean up. We need to have pride. And I am one, you can tell by looking at my hands and fingernails, I am not afraid of hard work. I served on the commission previously from 2007 to 2013. From 2011 to 2012, I served as mayor. I have an understanding of budgets. I have worked as a bookkeeper, they called it. I understand if you don't have it, you don't spend it. We live on a tight budget at home. We're both retired. I just want to instill pride. We need to get pride back in our community. I love this place. And I went to school here, graduated high school, went to CCC. That's where I met my husband. And why am I running? Because I want to continue giving. Currently, I serve on Genesis board. I've been involved with Pinch. I want to create community harmony. I want us to get along. I want us to have good neighbors, be good neighbors. We're active in our church. We do a lot of volunteer work. I have served on many boards, and I've done a lot of fundraising with the Midland Theater, Cultural Arts. I've been president of Friends of the Mansion. I can't think of lots and lots of things. I'm currently just going off my second term on session at church. My husband serves as a deacon. And anyway, like I said, I'm wanting to try and give back. I took off for about 4 years. I miss being up here, and I miss being a part of doing things. But you don't have to be on the commission to do things. You can get out there and volunteer, and every board and commission right now needs volunteers. Anyway, thank you for listening to me, and go vote on November 7th.
There we go.
You want to switch?
It's okay.
Go over to the other chair.
That's all right. Okay, thank you. Good evening. I'm Anne Marie Van Oster, a lifelong resident of Coffeyville. Believe it or not, at one time, when I finished high school, I wanted to go away, and I was going to go to KU and become a CPA and come back at Thanksgiving and Christmas to visit my family. And that's not what happened. I met this guy, and we got married pretty young. I'd say 19's pretty young now. And I have been here ever since. I even, I went to Holy Name School through the 6th grade, which is our parish school. I attended McKinley Junior High, Roosevelt, and Field Kinley, and graduated also from Coffeyville Community College, and then commuted 3 days a week for almost 3 years with a great group of ladies to get my degree in business administration. So I've never really left Coffeyville, and that was one of the best decisions I ever made in my life, because as I have grown older, I have realized what this town is and just what it's all about, and the sense of giving back. I have worked on many community boards and with many people, have volunteered, and I always have been treated very kindly. And that is something that I very much appreciate, because I feel like I'm a part of the town, and that's what I love. For the last 40 years, I have worked for my family's business at Lieber Brothers, 7 of them part-time and the rest of them full-time. I know it's a job, but I don't consider that. I just consider that going there my second home during the daytime. My favorite part is the people of this community, working with them and helping them. That is something that I really enjoy, because I gain knowledge every day when I am there. I learn something new every day. I find something new every day in that store that I didn't know we had. And, but I really enjoy it. And Coffeyville is a place that I just love. If I was fortunate enough to be able to sit on the city commission, there's different areas to address. I know that permanent street maintenance is important. Keeping up on our infrastructure is very important. Not letting things get behind, but keeping things going at a smooth rate so that they don't fall apart and you have a big expenditure at the end. I'd hope that we can always maintain competitive rates within our power, sewer, and water plants. Those are important. Sometimes, yes, rates need to be raised, but we need to watch that we do that as the things fluctuate and not one big raise at the time. Just keep going, because as in a business, the costs rise and you have to adjust what you have to keep those going. The city, it's a business. You've got many different departments. You have your city manager, your department heads, and all your employees, and it's just like running a business. So you have to have good control, you have to have good work ethics, and keep everybody as on board as possible. No, not everybody will like everything, but that happens even in your own families or whatever. So it's just something that you have to keep going and have good control over. Taxes, reasonable, keep those going. Yes, they will have to be raised sometime, but not like, we don't want them raised too much. It's very important that we keep what we have in Coffeyville going and attract new also. I'd like to see us strengthen the communication that we have between our voters and the city commissioner. Right now, it's very important that we talk to them. It's very important that we listen. Not all the time are we going to be able to please everybody, but listening and trying to work out something, and having our city commission everybody be pretty well unified. No, not everybody, again, is going to agree, but we need to make sure that we do it in a good manner and show people that we can work together to try to solve a problem. Also, supporting efforts to attract new industry, but at the same time, being good stewards to our existing industry and our existing businesses too is very, very important. Yes, it's great to have bigger places here. Sometimes I wonder if we should focus on industry that's maybe a little bit smaller so that we can keep it here a little bit longer and not have them leave after so long. But that's very important that we trying to build our town up. And as a start to try to gain, we need to work on and continuing, it will never end, but keeping our town clean and keeping our town presentable. The smallest things sometimes can help the bigger things later on. So we need to work on that. And people that are on the commission or whatever need to be an example too, which they are, and the city needs to be an example to show that we want to keep our town clean as possible. Setting the example is very important. How we look and how we present ourselves to others is very strong effort to gain business, to gain industry, and to keep those that we have currently. Why would I like to sit on the commission? I have one word: appreciation. I have filed because of my family's longtime connection to Coffeyville and how fortunate we have been to operate businesses here for 106 years. It is the power plant that brought my family, the Liebert side, to Coffeyville. And as I have gotten older, I have looked back on that, and that is a big appreciation, very much so. And in the end, I think if I were being able to sit up here and sit on the city commission, I have one thing that I'd like to do, and that is to help in progression, just like you do in business, and to leave it to the next people after I'm done or whatever, not only in a good position, but even a better position, that they will come along and keep going so that we continue to make Coffeyville a very good place to live. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Williams. I am a 22-year veteran with the, well, law enforcement here in Montgomery County. I spent 18 months as a police officer here in Coffeyville, and the last 21 years with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. I'm currently the Lieutenant Detective and head of the Investigative Division with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office. I grew up in Coffeyville. I graduated from Phil Kinley High School. I went to Coffeyville Community College, then went on to law enforcement instruction over at Lebec County, and then on over to Missouri Southern. After graduating college, I returned back to Coffeyville, and I've made it my home ever since. Like I said, I've spent my career here in Montgomery County in law enforcement. A lot of folks are real excited to see me when I show up, and others aren't so much. The thing is that my family's invested in Coffeyville. I have a son that's going to Phil Kinley currently. I have 2 daughters that are going to community elementary, twin daughters. So I'm invested in Coffeyville. I currently live here in Coffeyville, so therefore, you know, I couldn't be any more invested than what I am. I currently sit on the Coffeyville City Commission. I've been on the commission for 4 years. My initial run for city commission was because I wanted to change things here in Coffeyville. One of the things that I can go through a whole list of things that we've accomplished in the past 4 years. But the thing is that what I want to get down to are the things that we need to accomplish. In Coffeyville, we need to address 3 things, and these are very important 3 things. We need to address jobs, we need to address our poverty situation, and we need to address our crime situation. Those 3 things, addressed properly, will bring Coffeyville to become prosperous. Okay. The other thing is that, and I don't want to go into a complete political platform of what I'm going or what I'm trying to achieve, but those 3 core goals right there are what we need to achieve no matter who sits on this commission. One thing that is for sure is that if you are satisfied with the way Coffeyville is right now, if you're satisfied with that, one thing that you need to remember taking away from this candidate forum, no matter who you vote for, obviously I'd like for you to vote for Chris Williams. However, no matter who you vote for up here, we have got to rethink what we're doing, because what we have done in the past has got us where we are now. If we keep doing what we're doing, we're going to keep getting what we're getting. We have got to change the mentality of Coffeyville. We've got to change our own mentality. We've got to rethink things. We've got to do things better. We've got to adjust things. That's what you're going out to try to elect somebody to do. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the chamber allowing us to come visit with people. And when I found out, when I got the list of the order of the candidates, and I found out we were going in alphabetical order, I tried to change my name to Adams, but they wouldn't let me do it. Thank you. Appreciate your guys' time.
Well, I want to thank all the candidates, the commission candidates, and the college and USD 445 candidates. They are here because they truly do want to make a difference. I 100% believe that Coffeyville is an amazing city. Yes, we do have some opportunities for growth, and these are the individuals that are going to make that happen. And so I know that you, as an audience, are here because you do care, and you want to be informed, and obviously get out there and vote. But what I challenge everybody tonight is go back to your coworkers, to your neighbors, to the people on Facebook that want to maybe complain a little bit about this and that, and challenge them to become informed and to vote and to help these candidates, empower them to do the best that they can for our city. So I challenge you tonight, everybody here tonight. So for those that weren't able to make it, let them know, though, we are uploading this, and it will be on the city's YouTube channel. And I've got the link, so if they want to call the chamber, we can get that to them, or they go on the city website. But that way, anybody that wasn't able to make it tonight, there's no excuse. They can get on and they can find out about the candidates. We did have two candidates that weren't here tonight, Gary Victory and Darren Alexander. And so they will both be joining us at the October debates. So mark your calendars for that, and we'll have more information as it gets closer to time. I'd like to encourage everybody to stick around, and college and USC candidates come up as well. And that way, anybody in the audience that wants to come and talk to them, give them a handshake, get to know them a little bit more, stick around. We got some time. All right, thank you.